Hey sis, and welcome to the Beauty System Podcast, where we discuss the science behind beauty. We are your hosts, Maya Elaine
and Maya Nicole, and together we will dissect important topics for women of color with the goal of making science, technology, engineering, and math concepts more accessible and relatable to everyday life.
Let's get into this episode.
Hey sis.
Hey sis.
And welcome back to the Beauty System Podcast. Our podcast is dedicated to discussing the science behind beauty. We are your hosts, Maya Nicole
and Maya Elaine, and together we will discuss and dissect topics that are important for women of color regarding science, technology, engineering, and math concepts, making them more relatable and accessible to everyday life.
So today's topic, it's just us, no guests.
Just us.
Back again.
Our pleasure.
Yes. And we decided that because there's a lot of conversation specifically around more of the technology piece of STEM, we wanted to just cover some emerging technologies and how they impact beauty. And the goal really is, like our goal always is, to break down these complex topics that you've probably heard a lot about and this word's thrown around, but to make them relatable to your everyday life and, meaningful, especially for you as a consumer. But before we get to all of that, Maya.
Yes, it is human verification time. So the human verification today is going to be from me, Maya Elaine, to Maya Nicole. And your human verification question is, what is your preferred nail shape? Almond, oval, square, or coffin?
Almond. Always.
Always?
Always almond.
You don't even want to try like a little cough every now and then?
No. I mean, I have, but every time I get it, I'm like, this is not me. Like I feel like as soon as she's doing it and she's cutting it and it's like too late, I'm like, this is not what I'm
And you
about.
pay too much money for it to not be you.
You pay too much money for it to not be you.
I do the coffin or the square. I can do either, really. Like, I truly don't mind either way. I think when I use my natural nails, it's not as long. I want it to be square.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
Okay. One thing.
Okay.
Before we get into our topic today, one thing I thought of is normally when we have a guest, we talk about their profession. And we introduce like how what we're talking about can relate to an attainable profession in STEM, just so people are aware of what's going on. So I'm just going to throw that out there, that in the middle, just include like maybe one or two jobs regarding your, I'm not going to reveal your topics because surprise, but just throw in a role that you can have and do this thing.
Oh, okay. Cool. Sounds good. Well, the first topic that we're going to be discussing is artificial intelligence, or AI. You probably see it in the headlines. AI is taking over. Okay. What AI is, artificial intelligence, it's very similar to how it sounds. It is the problem-solving, decision-making of, human intelligence mimicked by computers and machines. So a concept that is so very closely aligned to this and is kind of the reason why artificial intelligence is able to make this problem solving and decision making ability is through machine learning. Machine learning is a concept in which a machine is fed data, and the person who's interviewing, so like a data scientist in this case, would tell them, okay, this is what you're looking at, and classify that for them so that in future problems, or when they're presented with this information in the future, they're able to easily detect that. So an example of this is if I give you 4 images of people's faces and I say, this is a face, by the 5th or 6th time, you would be able to recognize this is a face. It's similar to how we learn in school. A teacher gives us a piece of information and we have to classify it and learn, what it is so that we can apply it to future knowledge. Same concept with machines. It's just done in a more high-tech way. Another version of this is called deep learning. So this is like the next level. I would akin this to like self-study or self-teaching, where the machine is able to, kind of in a similar fashion of our brain, is able to pull those similarities and make inferences on its own with limited intervention from a data scientist. So we mentioned data scientists a couple of times. Maya, feel free to jump in with this definition, but a data scientist is someone who works with data. There's someone who there's someone basically there's someone who works to make sure that data is, I don't want to say clean, but data is able to be worked with in a method that, machines or people are able to discern it. They're able to make inferences using data, apply it to different contexts. So yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, basically just make it easier to digest and to use to make decisions.
Yeah.
That's the gist of it.
That's a data scientist. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, we talked about these two concepts. What does that mean like in real life? So we interact with forms of weak AI all the time. And when I say weak, it just means I am giving you a set of information and I'm expecting a result back. So an example of this would be like our Siri or Alexa features, whatever, voice AI agent or whatever you use. You're asking a very specific question and you're expecting a specific answer. So like, what is the weather today? They're able to use their machine learning, apply, okay, where is Maya? All right, this is her city. This is the weather. Very simple. An example that we've been seeing a lot that does this is Chat GPT. Like you've been seeing this everywhere. I've been using Chat GPT. You've been using Chat GPT. Everybody uses
Let me, girl.
You don't use Chat. I use Chat
Not
GPT.
often. I've used it for a couple of things.
Oh, I've been using Chat GPT. But yes, so it does this. There's a higher level version of AI called strong AI. We haven't really seen it. I've never seen it in like real life context. The only time I've seen it and what it like is capable of is like through movies. So like Marvel, if you've watched the Black Panther, which girl, you have to watch.
Of course we watched
like,
Black Panther. Girl.
You know, Shuri, like her little robot person that responds to her. That's a version of strong AI. And the reason why it's strong is because the computer itself is identifying problems without that prompting. It's, drawing connections or like it's telling her, girl, don't fly this at this radar because you're going to die. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's kind of like that level of higher level without that prompting, without that nudging. I'm sure they're working on it. I'm sure it'll be released.
Girl, you know it always starts with the movies. And then they pop out and they're like, y'all know this. You remember back in Black Panther? Girl.
Look, I'm sure we'll see it soon.
Yeah.
But we just haven't interacted with it. Okay.
So we talked about what AI is and how we see it sometimes. What impact do you think that has on the beauty industry and specifically for women of color?
Yeah, I think in the beauty industry, we're seeing it just as a consumer, like shopping online anywhere, like you're interacting with AI. So whether it's like the chatbots when you're going to customer service or the extremely personalized service that you're receiving, in the beauty industry, one of the ways that come to my mind is like when you're using an app like the Sephora app or whatever, and they've seen in your previous purchases that you are, this shade in this foundation. Well, using their data sets on all the different shade ranges, they're able for all the other different brands. If you're trying to buy a foundation in another brand, it can easily give you suggestions on what would be the closest match for your skin tone or what would be some complementary, colors for like blush or something like that. So it's just the personalization that it's able to provide is, it's more data driven and it's more predicting kind of the things that you want so that you can have this hyper personalized experience. But there's other ways that it's showing up. I would say that it more ties into your topic and how it like you're really, really seeing it. So I'll pass it over to you.
Okay. So I'm going to just go ahead and go since we're already there.
Okay.
My topic is augmented reality, AR. So we talked about AI. Now we're talking about AR. And augmented reality is basically the easiest way to explain it is combining what's real with computer generated images. So you'll have a real world experience, and then we will overlay on top of that something that's fabricated, generated by the computer, either like as a enhancement to the real world image, or just something that allows you to broaden your experience, whether that be with shopping or whether that be with taking pictures. So the way that you see AR in real life is through filters. So that's kind of what Maya is talking about. And there's two components to that. So AI comes in a little bit, artificial intelligence in the first component, because what do you have to do? You have to find the face. So that's what Maya was talking about earlier. You have to be able to detect a face in order to place a filter on a moving or still image. So AI is used to detect where your eyes are, where your ears are, where your mouth is. And based on the filter that's created, AR, augmented reality, is used to layer that image on top of your actual face. So that's where you get that combination of what's real, you, your image, your background, all of that's real, and the fake, which is the filter that goes on top of you. That is one applied, the way that you can see AR applied. Another one is through virtual try-on. So virtual try-on is something that is a little new, but not as
that new.
Yeah. So what I mean by new is that it's not as easily accessible to all. So there are some stores who have already implemented, like Sephora has already implemented smart mirrors in some of their locations. So you can go into the store, you can look in the mirror, you can select like different eyeshadows and lipsticks and things and try them on. So there's some people who have already done that. But virtual try-on, the purpose of that is just to enhance your experience. And there are a couple of components. Two that I want to highlight where tech and beauty really merge is sustainability. So one of the things that's a huge problem in beauty that we've talked about before is the waste. So beauty creates so much waste.
Yeah.
I mean, so much waste. Just think about how many containers you have for all of your products. Just think about how many, like the wrapper that's around that to make you feel like the contents haven't been disturbed. And then there's the container that it's actually in. And then there's the residue that's left in there once you're done with it, but you still have to throw it away. So when it comes to sustainability, the virtual try-on is helpful because now instead of going into the store and wasting a whole product on a tester, or instead of, okay, I'm going to just buy all three.
Yeah.
And then I'll try them out. And then I'm going to say I'm going to take them back, but really I'm probably going to keep them, give them away, or throw them away.
Yeah.
So instead of all of that, you now get to try on your eyeshadow. You get to try on your lipstick. You get to test how a foundation may look against your skin. You get to do all of that before investing in the product. And that not only helps with sustainability, but it also builds your confidence in any company's product. So I think it's helped in sustainability. It's helped companies drastically increase their sales because of that confidence, decrease customer service requirements, returns, things that happen because I thought it was going to be one thing and it's turned out to be another thing. So go ahead.
Yeah. And I would say for the sustainability piece that I forgot to mention with AI, they're doing similar things. Like Unilever is using AI to help identify ingredients that can replace, like more sustainable ingredients that can help like the supply chain issues. So instead of having, investing in however many researchers or engineers it would take to figure that out or, whatever, they're able to use AI to help kind of narrow down those decisions. So we are seeing good effects, in the marketplace from using these technologies, but I think it is important to highlight some of the things that we're seeing that may not be the best.
Okay.
So in terms of augmented reality, like how do you see that being not so good?
So there are a few ways, and I think the ways that I see augmented reality being not so good are similar to AI as well. One of the ways is an influence perception. So when you have things like filters and they're so light that you can like barely, like I'm just going to turn on this makeup filter. Well, now I always have it on my computer. So the people at work think I look exactly like the filter, whether it slims my nose or whether it makes my lips bigger or whether it gives me
filters on the work computer,
girl. Yes, they do, ma'am. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Makeup filters, honey.
Oh, yes. I actually have seen that on Zoom.
Yeah, I was on Zoom with somebody one time and they're like, oh my gosh, my filters are broken. My filter's not working.
That's something.
But I mean, but then so the issue that we're highlighting here is now the person that you're seeing every day, because you only look at yourself in the mirror and on that Zoom call when you're trying to figure out if you look crazy in front of all these people you work with. So now the version of yourself that you are seeing every day has different features from the actual version of yourself.
That's true.
What does that do for you? And especially for women of color, and this we'll get into this with AI as well. If the filters you're using aren't characteristic of your culture or what you would normally look like, because there aren't as many filters that, well, I won't say that, because there are filters that make your lips bigger because that's preferred. There are filters that make you lighter or darker because that's something that some people prefer. So, but for women of color, if the filter that is popular is not the one that is aligned with your natural features, then you're used to seeing yourself this way. Now, I've been seeing myself this way for 5 years that I've been at home by myself, working in front of a computer. And now I've stacked up my coin and I got to go get my nose done because that's how my nose been looking this whole time.
You know what? And honestly, Maya, like to think about it in that magnitude, like I know in our like first episode, I shared like my beauty, like, you know, journey and stuff like that. And like, just like my weird relationship with makeup and like how that's morphed over the years. But I shudder to think about if we grew up like with the Snapchats, with the Instagram, and then not only that, but like hit a pandemic in that as well. So you were only really seeing these new people. Like imagine you start high school. And on Zoom. And now I got all these filters and now I feel like pressure to start, you know, school. And I like not like that is, oh my goodness.
Imagine going into high school for the first time and seeing all your friends that you've gone 6 months only seeing online.
On Snapchat and Instagram.
Girl, I know the little girlies was like, Mama, I have to have makeup. Like, and that's so sad because people are so beautiful and you'll never, if you start that way, it's really hard to
really
back
hard.
It up. Like, it's an inch. Even with my personal experience, like I didn't wear makeup at all. Now I'm like, oh, now I feel like my eyelashes are bald. So like it trains you to think that this is the thing that I prefer.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, that didn't happen. That happened in real life, like with me just trying different makeup and liking different things, which is perfectly fine. It's fine for you to like what you like. And to, you know, I mean, that's no different than wearing the clothes that you like to present yourself the way you like. So I think that there is a line where it's good. And then there's a line where it starts to get bad. But what filters do is blur that line so much more. And now human and computer is the same because we are digital images. This is not me that you're seeing on FaceTime. This is me plus AR filter number 27 with dark eyeshadow and red lip.
When we were prepping for this episode and you were mentioning that there's makeup artists, I was like, unhinged. But I guess like everyone is like, oh, we're moving to the metaverse. Like people are like doubling down on the fact that their digital presence will be the one that is, you know, most.
Well, thinking about it, that's a fair assumption because you can reach many more people digitally than you can reach. You can only walk up to so many people a day.
This is so scary. I mean,
crazy, right?
I mean, I just think the implications, like we said, on like, you know, it's just, I just really encourage people.
Teach these babies that they're beautiful.
Please teach these babies that they're beautiful and to like understand who they are and like really be confident in their identity, because otherwise it's just like there's too many influence. There's too many people speaking about how they should look and what they should look. And they're seeing this everywhere. They're seeing this on filters. They're seeing this on social media, which all those people are filtered anyway. They're seeing it like in a bunch of different ways. So I just keep the babies up.
So one thing that I am not so happy about that has happened more times than I would have liked is people's parents, or I mean, most of the time it's people that I know, but people's parents will come up to me and say, can you talk to my daughter? You are so beautiful. And I feel like she just needs to see somebody with her same skin tone. That is so heartbreaking every time, because when I normally talk to them, it's about like what the other kids are wearing or what, well, I was on Snapchat and I can't, like the filters don't look right. Like
I might cry right here.
Literally, that's how I feel every time. That's how I feel every time. And this is in person. And it just breaks my heart so bad. And it's not that I can't understand it, because even though we didn't have filters as kids, there were things that were preferred.
Yeah.
And there were people that were liked more. And there were like just little subtle nuances. So whether it be with skin or hair or what your parents allowed you to wear and didn't. There's always those nuances, but when you bring in something like filters that everyone has access to, everyone's used to it, it's normal. Your parents are not like cracking down on filters because
they don't know filters.
They don't know. they just trying to get you as an 8-year-old to come show them how to get the funny lips on their face or to get the little dog ears. They just want to, you know. So because it's so new, it is a very dangerous line, and it can get blurred really fast, and we can start to lose sight of who am I in person.
Yeah, I think those are really good points. She was like, which language is it? I just I knew this was exactly.
Y'all, Maya's phone is in Portuguese.
Yes, in Portuguese.
And she just asked me to press a button on there, and I was like, jibba jibba, jibba jibba. Which one am I? I don't know how to read that. Okay, but I gotta expand my skills apparently.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think that, like you said, like it's the wild world. And I think in terms of AI and like how that is showing up in sort of like, I would say, the negative effects, we're seeing a lot of stuff in the news about like ethics around AI, and like the conversation really is, and I encourage everyone to like read up on it because it really is important, especially as we think about like new laws and stuff like that will be introduced, hopefully around, you know, data and AI and the use of that. But it really gets kind of like when you think about who is creating these models that are training this AI on, and then who is using this AI. Because like we're talking about in beauty, you know, in the beauty context, which is still like bad in terms of like, if you're only showing, for example, faces, if you're only showing a model faces that are, you know, white or racially ambiguous, and you're not really showing any like range or the full spectrum of melanin, then it becomes a data set that may not be as accurate in the real world, and being able to be as useful. And like maybe that, you know, is inconvenient for people, you know, using eyeshadow or like face try-ons and stuff like that. But there are other people using AIs to make decisions on, you know, policing. And so it just gets it gets real left, real fast. Really left. So yeah, we're talking about, that's why I said it's important to research it. So we're talking about it obviously in the beauty context, and we don't want to like oversimplify or make it seem like, you know, this is the worst thing that can happen, even though it's not like the bad. So that's why I said just read up on it for real. But in terms of, like I said, like the models, if you're not training a model to, you know, understand all aspects of people, a lot of people are not going to be able to experience the technology in the same way, as well as like, you know, employment. Some people are using this to make employment decisions. So we just need to be very cognizant of, and that's why like podcasts like this and other things that encourage girls, Black women, and other people of color to get involved in STEM is really important, because you want more data scientists, you want more, you know, computer scientists, you want more engineers working and building this technology so that it is reflective of a more diverse population of people. And as it does scale, it has the ability to be more inclusive in how it addresses all different demographics. But all of this kind of opens itself up to the greater conversation on like data privacy and how that is used. Like for AI, for example, the way that it's able to get personalized experiences from you is through your personal data. So whether that's, you know, you accepting all cookies, like accept all on these web pages.
Scroll.
Yes. Like just
don't do it.
Just, well, if that's your preference, like I think people do it, but they don't know like what they're signing up for.
Right. And people do it for the convenience. They want the thing that it's leading to. So it's like, yeah. They already got my information. Boom, bam.
Yeah. But and I would encourage you to read what your, you know, these websites have, because like I personally only do the minimum. Like I use like a Brave browser. So like I'm normally on the web with a VPN. Like I'm using virtual private network. I'm normally using these ways where my data is not, even though a lot, because of like all these major data leaks and stuff like that, there's a high number of like everyone's personal data that's out in the world anyway. But just be careful of how and who you allow to have your data and what type of data that you have. Personally, I don't really it creeps me out when I get really, really ultra specific and targeted marketing. It really creeps me out.
Girl.
But some people like that so that they're not having to search the web for like all of these things that they want. They're finding things so that it just is it's just different people, different, preferences, but understand that is how these models are working. They're working off of your personal data. Some you voluntarily give, some you give, just
and not
know. So yeah.
Yeah. And I think the thing that people don't realize is that there is a safety component, and wherever there is a vulnerability, there is somebody who's willing to exploit it. And so even though you may, think in your head, they already have all of my information, they know where I am all the time, like it's not a big deal. Well, what happens when they're targeting like your area and there's some bad, like I was listening to a podcast the other day where they were targeting a specific area and they put bad chemicals in a specific product in that area. And if they were to have this type of technology, they would know exactly who to target if they wanted to target a certain demographic. There's just so many ways that this could turn bad that I'm scared to give out all my information personally. So, and it's not to like, the point of this conversation is not to scare, it's to make you aware. It's just to give you all of as much information as possible so that you know what you're dealing with. There are a bunch of beautiful, results that come out of artificial intelligence. There's so much that has helped us progress as society, as individual people from artificial intelligence, and there's so much that's helped us progress from augmented reality. You can now access things that you wouldn't have been able to access. For little girls who've never even gotten to go in the store and pick up a lip gloss and try it. Well, now it's like, I can see this thing. Or just for if you wanted to change your hair color and you don't really know which way to go, it's like, oh, okay, red does look good on, there's so many beautiful benefits as well as outside of the beauty industry in medical and a ton of different industries. In the food industry, there's a bunch of great benefits, but there's always the negatives that go with the pros. So
yeah. And I think for augmented reality, a consideration is, for AI, it's like personal data, how like your cookies and stuff like that. And like cookies are just like little crumbs that you leave around the web of your browsing history and stuff like that. So if you don't clear your cookies or if you allow people to have access to your cookies,
they know where you've been.
They know where you've been. They know what you do. They know how long you're on the sites. They just know a lot of information about you. But in terms of augmented reality, they have your biometric data.
Exactly. And that's where you lose me, honey. And so go ahead.
Yeah. Biometric data is just like data that is specific to you. So like your fingerprint is a good example of biometric data. Your face is
how you unlock your phone with your face.
That's biometric data that your company has. Like even with like Apple Watches and stuff like that, like
your heart rate,
stuff like that's another form of like your biometric, like health kind of data, but it's just data that is
specific to you individually
and identifiable. Yes. It's like personally identifiable information, but just higher level because it's your face.
And so not to scare everybody. So there is personally identifiable information, and then there's like adjacent to that is non-identifiable information, and that is, or images or points of view. And that is how most augmented reality in combination with AI filters work, where they identify the corners of your eyes, the things that would define an eye. It has an eyelash. So they identify all these little points that are, everybody will have them, but they don't necessarily have to be your eyes. This is just, I can identify the crease in the eye, so then I know where your eyes are.
Yeah.
So there is adjacent to personally identifiable, non-identifiable information that companies are using to create these AR filters. That way it's safe. That way your spitting image is not hanging out, somewhere ready to be printed on a robot face.
Some of them are, but some of them are using your face. Like
yeah,
those,
some of them are using.
Like I honestly,
those Lensa things.
Is that what those like headshots are? Those
yes,
like AI
Lensa
headshots.
AI. Yeah.
Yes. And so how that works is, from my understanding, is that you submit different photos of you.
Yeah.
They scan those photos, identify the places and like the little unique features of your face, and then spit it on something else and like create their own image of you. And I think that that's.
Well, the other thing that they do is they include things that they think are preferable.
Oh,
which is
problematic.
Look, because now you have features that a computer thinks
is more
back to that deep learning.
attractive.
A computer thinks you would like.
Yeah.
Thinks that the public would like. Oh, this is beautiful. This is a great version of me. And it's you, kind of.
That's.
So it's all cool.
It's cool. No, it's most definitely cool.
Cool.
I don't have to go like find and get a headshot and like
exactly.
get that made. If I don't have time to do that, I can just do this and it works for me. Absolutely cool.
It's cool.
But who has this information?
Exactly. And I think that's what we're not talking about enough.
And for how long?
Because this is all new. It's just as new to law and, the government as it is to me and you. So as privacy laws are created, this is a side note that vote, because who is sitting in the room when those laws
they don't know how
created?
to update, like unlock their computers.
They don't know nothing.
Let alone
okay,
AI.
they know. Sometimes they know something, and sometimes they're just well informed with advisors,
the staff
that support that. But you do need to know things like that, because they are, as we speak, creating the law of the land that is going to govern AI, AR, what they have access to, what's in your background that they're picking up going on, that people don't pay attention to that. You taking a picture, you know how many people that have been in your background while you're taking pictures? So many.
Even when the picture is taken, that metadata that it's in the
where you are, like all of that. So because we're collecting all of it, and in general, the purpose of collecting data is to be more informed. So it never starts with ill intent. But now that we have all of this information, especially when in the AR world, when Pokemon Go came out,
girl,
they were like, oh my gosh, these people love this. They're addicted to this game.
I was addicted to Pokemon Go.
I was in Charlotte catching them in the middle of
them all. I was
garden.
in New York at that time. It was so much fun.
I was on an internship. We was leaving break to catch Pokemon.
In the hallway, everybody was playing Pokemon Go. That was an era.
It was. So, but what that told companies is, they're going to go for this. This is, we don't have to convince them that this is cool. Like, putting things out in virtual reality. I'm sorry, not virtual reality. We'll get into that. Putting things out as augmented reality and allowing people to see things that aren't really there is cool to people. It's not a foreign idea. I don't have to ease people into it. They're already good with it. So why don't I, as a company, now that you're watching your favorite YouTuber do their makeup, pop up and say, do you want to try this lipstick on that she has?
That's cool.
Well, let's put it in your cart. You like it? Oh, well, you can check out right here.
Yeah.
Like, that's where things are going. And with things like, because they have this background and because people are so willing to accept the new and the cool, we're just rolling right into it. And there has to be somebody behind the scenes that is having our back. That is what
and you need to have your own back.
That's why you join STEM. Okay. So yeah, there's some downsides. What I want to talk about, so we talked about the software components where these are like computer generated, either learning or projections that are put onto or that are like overlaid on the real world. What I want to talk about now is tools in technology. Yeah. So these would be things that you can physically touch, use hardware that aid in your beauty experience. The first one I can think of is the automatic hair braider or twisting tool. Now, this tool is very special. So it only, it doesn't cornrow your hair. Now, you won't be getting straight backs with these braids.
Straight
it's not going to give you a flat twist. No. It's not going to do that. But we're not there yet. But I did read some research of someone who was trying to create that. But
please
not there yet.
Immediately.
This does like the equivalent of like a plait or like a box. Well, it's not really a box braid because they don't get your edges.
But
up.
I mean, I guess if someone got you started.
If someone swooped your edges up and put rubber bands all over, you could go home and put your 3 strands in that tool and braid it up.
It's still going to be about $400 to just do that though.
It is, you know,
with your hair washed, already blown
to
out.
part your hair.
I seen that. I was like, these people are unhinged.
Yeah. You have to come with your hair washed, blow dry, bone out,
braided,
bring
your own
oil scalp,
bring your own edge control. Like what?
Yeah. So yeah, but the automatic hair braider twister tool is a new advancement. It's not as new now. It's been out for a couple of years. The reviews are split. Me personally won't be sticking my hair in a contraption to tangle it up.
I'm hollering
because
I'm sure it works. No, I would really like to do an episode where we try all those things.
I would love to try. So maybe when we get sponsored,
that's why y'all need to like this podcast,
like, share, subscribe.
That's why
follow.
Y'all need to do that so we can try on things for y'all and break off our hair instead of yours.
Yeah. That's great. We'll be your virtual try-on.
No, seriously.
Okay. Anyways, guys, the twisting tool is cool. I have not used it. I've seen people use it. It actually does tightly twist or braid your hair. Right. I've also seen some reviews of knotting happening, but I think it depends on like the settings and how you choose to use it.
And probably if your hair is not detangled properly, it's not. But okay, that's cool. One that I've seen that like I would definitely get, but it's a 3D printing nail thing.
Cool.
Yeah, it's called, well, the one that I saw is like called Nimble, but I've seen like some in like Target as well. Like not Target.
Oh, really?
Like I feel like it is Target. Like some store you can go in there and get your nails done, but essentially they use AI to determine like the specific points in your nail, like where the curve of your nail, like calculate all of that. Then you put it in a capsule and it 3D prints on your nail, on your finger lobe. And I think, that that's really cool. I would definitely do it because I would get a full set while I was working.
And how much would it cost for you to get? So do you get the machine or do you have to go somewhere to use the machine?
So I've seen both. I've seen one that's like at home. You bring it. I think that's the Nimble one. And then I've seen one where you go into a store and get your nails. I really feel
how much is the at home one? Because I will never go back.
The at home one. So the one that I saw is still like on like the Kickstarter phase. Like it's still like a startup or whatever. But it was like to be, I guess, to support or whatever. It was like $250, which is like
2 times at the nail salon.
One, because these girls are
y'all
insane.
Get a lot of stuff on y'all.
No, I went to the nail salon recently. They charged me for length, of course. They charged you for shape because I like almond.
They charge you for the shape?
It's outrageous now. They charge you for whatever like you get. So at this time, I don't normally get dip, but I had to get dip. And then, they charge you for everything.
Wow. But so then that was your nail printer right there.
That was my nail printer, yes. Plus the pedicure.
Oh yeah, yes. No. Plus that pedicure. Yeah, you bought your nail printer.
I bought you basically.
Does the nail printer paint on your toes?
If it don't, that's problematic.
Because now they're not going to match.
Yeah, I definitely hope that that technology becomes more available and accessible because it's just I don't have the time to be sitting in a salon. But anyway,
girl, talk about time. Talk about time, okay? Because we don't have time.
Okay, Maya, what's another
one? Is let me see. Another one is the detangler. There is a detangler that is. There's a lot of different brands that have created one at this point, but it is an electronic machine that you.
It's just that you said electronic.
It is an electronic machine, and you run it through your hair, and it helps to detangle, like it detangles the strands, the individual strands of your hair. Now, for me personally, I barely want to use a brush to detangle my hair because it just has so many coils and curves. They don't go the same way. It's not a straight detangle. And not that that's what that does. I think it just kind of tangle teases until your hair is untangled.
But it's for like a woman of like it's
for a woman of color. Now I don't know about the bi part, but it's for I've seen one specifically for 4C hair.
Oh, I'm shocked.
Yeah. So also have not tried that, but if we are ever afforded the opportunity to try it, I will give it my best go in a section at the back of the nape of my neck.
No, you need the nape for put your hair up. You got to do it in the middle.
Yeah, Silly. Okay. So we have that. And do you have another one?
No.
Okay. So the only other one I can think about is the Rev Air, that one that sucks in your hair and straightens it while it blow dries it.
I've seen that.
I actually think that's cool. Slightly scared of it. I don't want to vacuum in my hair for any reason at all. Like, it's actually a fear of mine to get my hair stuck in the vacuum cleaner. So,
but I've seen a lot of people use it.
I have too. Yeah. So maybe it's a good one. We'll have to try that one as well. That one I would be more likely to
buy it.
Yeah,
I would actually buy it. Yeah.
So yeah, cool
wow.
stuff.
Okay. So we talked about tools. We talked about some like technology concepts.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it would be cool to like in the episode doing like a real or fake. Like we just either you come up with a random, technology, that you've seen in the marketplace for beauty, and you have to guess if it's real or fake.
Okay. Can we do like, I guess you can't.
You can't tell how many is real and how many are fake. Okay. I'm going to go first.
Okay.
Okay. Real or fake?
Mm-hmm.
A robot.
Okay.
That does your eyelash extensions.
Real. And the only reason why I know that is because that's one of the ones I thought about.
Yes, it is real. It's a company called Loom, Luum, and there is a robot. Mm-hmm. And apparently there is a lash tech that supervises this experience, but it's a lash tech that does your lashes. Now, what I thought was hilarious,
is
when in the little marketing thing it said as comfortable and as convenient as a regular lash tech appointment, ma'am. It is not comfortable, nor is it convenient to get your lashes done, period.
Oh yeah, no. That's true as well.
It's not comfortable, nor I sleep. I cannot. You sleep. I cannot sleep,
girl.
I cannot sleep. I am wide awake with this lady pushing.
How are you wide awake with your eyes closed for 2 hours?
It is torture. It is literally.
It's like you're trying to go to sleep, but you can't.
I can't. With her doing all that stuff in my eyes.
Out cold.
No, it's not. And it better be half the time if I'm getting a robot to do it, because it takes me forever.
It did say 30 minutes.
I'm shocked. I would do it then.
Yeah.
If it's 30 minutes, I would definitely do it. Okay. Yeah. Well, go ahead. Your turn.
Okay. So mine is, okay. There is a robot that will wash your hair, and they have staff robots that will lather up your hair. And then they have other staff robots that will detangle your hair, and then robots that'll style it.
Whose hair? Our hair?
Anybody's hair.
That's a lie. Anybody's hair? Anybody's hair.
Anybody's hair.
That's not true. It's true? It's not true. I say false.
Wrong.
It's true.
So Dyson does have a set of robots that they're creating. I don't know if these are I don't think that these are out and being used, but there is a trial set of robots that they're working on that I think there's a supervisor there, but one of the robots, and they have these cute little acronyms for their names based on what they do. But there's a washing robot, there's a lather robot, and then there's a detangler who detangles your hair.
Whose hair?
Okay, girl, they're not going to say not for people of color.
I know, but I'm saying what type of textures of hair
have been tested.
Yes.
From the marketing of it seemed like either regular straightened hair or mannequins.
Okay, yeah,
for testing. So, yeah, it is real, but I don't know that the research has expanded yet to real human hair or to textured hair. But when it does, I want robot to do my hair. I do.
Oh, okay.
I feel don't you feel like the scalp massage gonna be on
I feel like it's just gonna get in. My hair is really it picks up on stuff too much. It would just need one nut or bolt to pick up my hair.
No, but for real, I would be open to trying it. Maybe if I'm at a point where I'm willing to go bald.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I would be willing to try it. But the thing that gets me, which I know that there's waterproof technology, but it's just a lot going on for you to be washing my hair, and this mechanical thing is I get that it can be waterproof, but there's a lot of different components. So it's something to think about. Okay. You have another one?
Yes, I do. Okay. A technology that, or machine. Okay. That you put it's like think of it almost as like a ski mask or like a helmet. Okay. You put your helmet on. And you close it. And then you select your makeup and then you open up your helmet.
Shut up. That's a fake. That's fake.
Is it?
Yes.
Yes, fake. Okay. But there's something that's kind of like it's not to the mask point. It's like not spray on makeup, but it's like a machine.
Yes. Okay.
It's not the mask part though.
So mine was I did a hair and a makeup one too, because my makeup one was gonna be this one. I'm not going to tell you if it's fake or not until you guess. But this one is where a makeup artist draws out your image and then it's printed onto your face.
That's real.
Partially.
That's real. I've seen that.
So it's partially real. It's not like printed. It's not like you lay back and it's like
this, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like and the cool thing about that one that I thought was cool is that like, it's not the part that's fake is that the makeup artist drew it. That's completely not. Now, if they can draw it and then be like, print like your little face thing, come up and my makeup is done the exact way that it was in the picture.
Buy five of them. I would buy
makeup artists are already using it to like show you what your look is going to be. So, but like based on your picture, so you can see yourself in it.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about the thing that exists is that it detects like where you would have a problem, like skin blemishes, acne, and things. And it only puts makeup on those specific points so that you're like completely evened out. So like it'll detect what your regular skin tone is and like what it should be. And then also use data that's like, okay, naturally it should be like lighter here or whatever. And then it'll like cover the things that aren't supposed to be there.
Interesting. Okay.
I saw a video and the little ladies didn't look bad. They look natural.
Send me that video. I want to see it. We're going to put it in the show notes. Okay. Here's one. Okay. You can send your DNA to a company and they will tell you what skin they will give you like a skin product that works for you specifically.
That's got to be real. That's got to be real because I've been sitting on DNA now.
Send your DNA to somebody.
I've sent like photos in.
Yeah, but this is your DNA. You're sending your DNA.
But that would make sense. Yes, I would think that there are companies who do that already. No?
Yes, there are. You can send your DNA and somebody will tell you that. But I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I would never send my DNA somewhere for some skin problems.
You want to be cloned?
That's what I'm saying. That's how I feel about it. So, okay, this is a side note.
That's like, I'm not an expert in that side, though. So I don't know how much people can clone you just because you...
Okay, I don't think that cloning is the issue. Yeah. I think it's just people have your DNA. But like, have you seen... You've seen this because you watch you listen to a lot of true crime podcasts. So on the True Crime podcast, the Golden State Killer, have you heard about the Golden State Killer? Okay. So the only reason why they found out who that was is because some
23andMe or something like that.
His relatives sent in 23andMe. And so you over there trying to get your skin right and you
and they're like, you're one half related to the Golden State Killer.
Which is, it got to get done. The work got to get done. But still, like
oh my goodness! Like I
would be in shock if I was going to get a personalized skincare recommendation and somehow I implicated a long lost cousin
in a murder trial.
Yeah, that's
wild.
Unfortunate.
But but I think what gets me is that like you watch so much TV on like things that can be possible and you just watch things not be real for so long and then things start to become real.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean when I say cloning. Like we've watched so many different versions of like a cloning thing. Wouldn't that be cool? I don't think they're not
be cool.
You wouldn't want another you?
No.
That would be so fun.
I would not.
But I wouldn't want it to be like a person. Like I would want them to dial it.
That's what a clone is.
No. I would want it to be clear the difference. Like I don't want it to be like me because that's just weird.
Then what would you want it to be?
Just like some help, like an assistant that's just like me, so it thinks like me.
Okay, so you just want someone to help you. That's
yeah.
You
I have a lot of things. You can tell I'm getting married. I have so many things.
You just want a personal assistant. Yeah, that's
okay.
all you want.
We dialed it back. Okay. Turns out I'm just busy.
Yeah, that's literally it. Okay. Well, I feel like this has been an amazing tactical episode.
It has been.
We learned a lot. We learned a lot. Yeah, and I just feel like, go ahead, Maya.
I just wanted to throw out all of our buzzwords, and we will include this, and we don't have to redefine them right now. We'll include some descriptions and some helpful links. But I just wanted to throw out the things that we've learned. We learned about AI, artificial intelligence. We've learned about AR, augmented reality. We've learned about deep learning, machine learning, cookies, weak and strong AI. We've briefly talked about VPNs and data privacy. We've talked about biometric data. We've talked about facial recognition and detection software. Guys, we've talked about a lot.
Talked about the Golden State Killer. We talked about a lot.
Let's leave that one where it belongs.
We talked about a lot.
Not that kind of podcast.
Not that kind of podcast. Even though Maya wanted to create that kind of podcast, but moving along.
Girl, I want to be a true crime podcast. It's just, I can so like invest in the cases, but it will help the people, their families. Sometimes they don't have any closure, so it helps to.
And you sitting behind a mic is going to help investigate.
No, it does. Like some of them, they do get really good leads just by like exposing. Like this to more people.
I said some people. I'm saying.
Oh, me personally. Oh no. I don't think I'm actually going to do that. Okay. But I like it here where we talk about STEM.
Yeah,
because that I can do.
Yeah, we can.
I'm not an investigator in fact.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this has been another episode of the Beauty System Podcast. Please, like, subscribe, comment, rate, do all of the podcast and YouTube things so that we can get sponsors in order to try out technology so we can rip out our hair and you won't have to rip out your hair. So we can get a rash on our face and you don't have to get a rash on your face.
Exactly. Except for it's just going to be her because I'm not ripping out my hair.
It's not going to be me. I'm not going to do that. But anyway, please do that. We're really excited to have these conversations like this, and we can't wait for you to experience another episode of the Beauty System.
Don't forget, it's the Beauty System, like the beauty. Sis, like hey sis, and STEM, like science, technology, engineering, and math. Bye sis.
It's this beauty.
My beauty.
Bye, girl. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Beauty System Podcast. If you haven't had the chance yet, please like, rate, subscribe, do all of the YouTube and podcast things so that more people can learn about the science behind their beauty.
And don't forget to follow us on Instagram at The Beauty System. That's The Beauty Sis, as in hey sis, and STEM as in science, technology, engineering, and math. Bye sis.
Bye sis.